Hey everybody, welcome back to the Penthouse. MG here, being able to record my first place deck profile on the Dracoray 5's list, or whatever you want to call it, uh, that won the P&M this last weekend. So I kind of went in expecting to just like try to get top four and then dip, but I kind of took it all the way and it performed a lot better than I expected. And so I'm gonna go over some of the deck decisions I made and also go over the quote unquote man math people are calling it that I kind of went into the deck. So we'll start with classic staples. Got triple Ash Rabbit. It's one of the best cards right now. Just being a 5 defender just makes your opponent spend resources to try to get it out, while on top of it being just really good card advantage. Right, it gets you whatever you're missing. Like if you need an extra guy or extra rune, it just comes in handy. Um, we've got Triple Galaxy and Peliquarius. So I think Galaxy right now is probably one of the best cards in the game. Um, at least just like getting rid of defensive like tools, right? Because it swings over a lot. It only truly loses to like Goron's Gaze and like maybe Altar of Stars if they're playing it, but like you don't want to PTA it. You really don't want to shield it, right? It's just like it does a good job of just getting rid of everything in the metagame right now. And then Peliquarius is just, an extra copy of Galaxy. Like, being able to hold on to an extra Galaxy while still swinging over stuff is really nice. And also, Peliquarius and Ash Rabbit pair well with Galaxy because you can go turn one of these in defense, and then turn 2 you go Galaxy, and then now you have a 4 and a 5 swinging over a lot of stuff. But I found it pretty useful over the course of the day. We'll next go over some of the solar stuff I brought in to kind of make it what it is. So we've got triple Lumaru, we've got triple Cathmal, and triple Spectaris. So if you've played Solar, you know why Spectaris is here. Like outside of it being just a generally good card to play, Cathmal can also heal Lunar Spirits. So typically, what I would do is like set up my graveyard, my Underworld, to have a Lunar and a Solar, and then have one of the Cathmals on the board, and that would be the third Solar to meet the minimum. Because you can do it without having 3 in Underworld, but like I always try to get as much healing off as I can when it comes to these effects, so that's kind of what I plan on doing a lot of the times. Lumaru is just generic 5, right? It's a print. It's 5 printed on the card, so automatically good, right? Its mill effect comes up sometimes. I never really properly enchant it unless I know my opponent doesn't have back row, or like I'm not playing around Tsunami, and so I just kind of try to snipe some cards, get some information, just deny cards as well. But generally, having it be water enchanted is also really helpful. If like I don't see any galaxies or like I don't have a lot, just good pressure, plays around Tsunami, forces stuff out. Very very good. But yeah, that's pretty much the solar. That's just part of that's like the basic solar stuff, and then we kind of get into the meat of the deck, where we've got double 2 Champ Exaltus, 2 Dracoray, and then 1 Lava So Lava is here because we're already playing. We're already playing fire. So having the Lava just be a good card you can just normal cast if you're not finding Dracorays, and just like get rid of the back row, demand immediate pressure, try to swing for a lot is good. And then also these 2 cards pair well together because Champ Exaltus reads that if whenever an Celestial gets destroyed on the field by battle, so it doesn't even have to be like a solar guy or anything, it can just be anything, and then you can just go Champ Exaltus special cast, right? And that pairs well with Dracoray because you can go special cast Exaltus, go over to your next turn, and then just ascend into Dracoray. I also do want to point out that Dracoray actually pulled its weight this tournament. At least in every round except when I was playing against Hermes players. Shout out to Josh and White Rebellion. Pretty cool list. Outside of those 2 players, I always got Dracoray out at least once in a game in the rounds. So it came up a lot. The ultimate combo of like going Rise from the Ashes into Kathmel into Dracoray is just so good. Turn one or game one because no one's maining Spoiled Fruit, right? And like some people are citing it, and it's probably gonna be seen more in the side in this upcoming event. These next 2 weeks, will be in the side, but like game one, no one's maining Spoiled Fruit, right? So it's like you can get this off a lot of the time. Obviously, there's Gorgons, and it's a 3 defense, so it kind of loses to Eddie and also Galaxy. But like sometimes it's just like near end game, and you get this thing out, and then like it's kind of game over. You're at like 8 spirits, they're at like 2, because all the healing you're doing. But very cool card. I'll kind of backtrack a little bit when I go over the side because I did end up siding out of the Dracoray in some matchups. But we'll go over the generic runes. We've got Rise from the Ashes. We got Triple Ambrosia and Hurricane. Triple Ambrosia, pretty standard. Even though I'm healing a lot, I still like having Ambrosia. With the wacky spirit mass I'm on, having Ambrosia kind of fixes whatever I kind of expended earlier on if I needed it. Like if I expended like some fires and I drew a Dracoray and like I need it back, or what have you. Like I mentioned before, Rise from the Ashes, really nice. I played it at 1 anyway, and it getting limited kind of didn't change anything for this deck. In particular, you don't want to draw it all the time, so having it at 2 just kind of felt bad sometimes. So having it at 1, I like it a lot more. Like I mentioned before, you can go Kathmel into Dracoray. You can also just go Rise from the Ashes into Dracoray itself, and just kind of refund the spirit spent on this, and you just get another guy on board. Because like sometimes I would do like Champ Galaxy Effect, swap all the stats, and then I would go Rise from the Ashes into Dracoray, and so now I have a 5 and a 7, and I can swing over like basically a lot in the game. Hurricane's still good, even at 1. If you find it, it's pretty good for guaranteeing Dracoray stuff, and it's just still pretty good, even though it is limited. You're not going to see it as much. It is another card I ended up siding out a lot because of my pattern that I'll kind of go into after I cover the runes. Going into the removal stuff, we've got Resting on Your Laurels, Earthquake, and Two Zeus. Now with Champ Like Avoid being gone, I think Resting can go back to main if you have room for like an extra card or 2. It's just very good for swarmed boards. Like a lot of people are playing Viscerus again. Like it deals with that pretty well. Earthquake is Earthquake. You never know where you're going to go into in a matchup, and so having Earthquake to just get rid of a 2-drop or like whatever Ascension they play is just really handy. Zeus, it helps you win combat, right? Typically, like having a Kathmel plus a Zeus gets over a lot of things, and so now they have to swing into Kathmel, and you'll like get rid of the guy next turn anyway, and it's just very handy. It's still really strong, even without Elichek. But yeah, on to the counter runes. Pretty basic stuff. We've got triple Gorgons, triple Shield, double Tsunami, and then PTA, 2 PTA. Gorgons is like one of the best cards. You'll hear that time and time again. You don't need me to tell you that. But having Gorgons is it's what you want to see, right? Shield of Achilles bounces stuff back. Like this is all standard stuff, right? I did lower down Tsunami to 2 instead of 3, which I think I had in some other versions of this list. I think 1 because I don't think I had the room for 3, because I would have to cut like some of the 1-ofs. And also I don't think Tsunami at 3 is going to be nice into this upcoming format, because I think a lot more people are going to be playing water, whether it's going to be Galaxy or what have you. And then PTA helps with removing just stuff, whether it's like an Ash Rabbit can't swing, or just dealing with this 2-drop. We'll go into the Spirit deck next. So we'll start piece by piece. We'll go we've got 5 solar, and then 2 lunar. So I ran with this kind of math because, like I mentioned before, with Kathmel and Dracoray, you need at least 6 spirits, right? And so the math works out where the spirit's going to be on board. It's not going to move. You send into Dracoray, and then you go Dracoray effect, Kathmel effect. With Dracoray, you're healing 3 solar, and then with the Kathmel, you're healing a solar and then 2 lunar. And so it kind of works out that way. If you want to play the list a little bit more comfy, you could probably take out some of the one-ofs, like a Hurricane or the Aquarius, to like put more solar in. But this math kind of worked out for me in a lot of games where it's just like I have like 3, 2 lunar or solar spirits, like just kind of hanging in my main deck at all times. So it's like if they shield back the Kathmel, which is like sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. If they shield it back, then I still have an extra solar that I can just use to summon the Kathmel back. We've got 4 Thunder and 4 Water. And so, 4 Thunder, you got 2 Zeus, you got 3 Rabbits, you got 1 Hurricane, right? So it's like, generally, I like having at least 2 for Zeus, and then just having these 2 spirits to work with for whatever. Sometimes, if I like really need to win combat a lot, I'll go like triple Zeus, or triple Thunder on Zeus, and then just kind of hope I don't run into rabbits, or just like have Ambrosia. Triple Water works out because you're mainly going like what? You got Triple Galaxy and then Lumaru, which you usually don't properly enchant, and so it's like you have enough for a few of those. And then kind of rounding out the spirits, we've just got 2 fire, a wind, and the blur. So like 2 for the Lavalith, and then 1 for the Hurricane slash Aquarius, and then for spirits. So I know in an earlier list I had like 3 fire, but me needing like Hurricane, like I just kind of cut one of the fires for the wind, and it ended up working out because it's 3 cards, right? 3 cards out of like the whole 40. You're not gonna find Lavalith every game. You're not gonna find Dracoray every game. You're not gonna find both every game, and so it's just kind of like having an extra, just the extra spirit would help, but like it's not necessary if you practice with it enough. But yeah, that's the wacky math. For those asking, oh, can you put the Frost Spirit in main? I don't think so. I think all the reasons I listed out, like you kind of need every spirit in the list. I don't think you can cut one in order to put the Frost. You theoretically could cut like a Thunder, I guess, but you really need Zeus, so I wouldn't recommend it. We'll start. Okay, we'll go into the side deck. We'll start with some of the more generic stuff. We've got 2 V-Box, we've got 2 Spoiled Fruit, got 1 PTA, 2 Cryoblast, and 1 Frost. Yes, I did have Cryoblast on the side, and so that's all 8 spirits, but this was a little annoying to get into, like swap stuff around. Generally, I'll kind of go over it next, but generally, a lot of the cards I took out, including Dracoray, in like game 2 and 3, because something like Swell Fruit destroys the deck, right? And so I kind of use that to my advantage, where I'd swap stuff out, and then that means I have less necessity to run Solar, and so I can take out a Solar to put the Frost Spirit. But kind of going over everything, Pandora's Box really saved me this last event. I didn't run into any bear players, but I did run into the Hermes decks, and Hermes kind of falls really badly if you have Pandora's Box, because you can just stop the search, right? Because, as people have mentioned before, Hermes has to search and then dump, so you could stop that theoretically. You could also stop Spinant from either searching Hermes or even ascending, and that kind of really impedes progress, because either they've used a normal action, right? Whether it's normal casting it to try to get Hermes, or even just enchanting it and then disenchanting it to try to ascend. They've used the normal action, right? And so now you've stopped that, and then they've kind of slowed down at a snail's pace, and then now you have a chance to either swing over or just like make board presence or just like do whatever, and just like it kind of leads into better games with it. Spoiled Fruit, again, with Like a Void being gone, Champ Like a Void, heal's probably going to be seen a little bit more, including even this deck, right? So I kind of brought Spoiled Fruit just in case. I don't think it came up. I don't think I drew into it a lot. Sometimes, again, going to the PTA, I needed to swap out cards, and I felt fine with swapping out stuff like Tsunami because, again, package I'm going to go over in a second. And so having the third PTA worked out because you could just make your opponent not swing for damage sometimes, or just like mess up spirit math or combat math a lot. Crown Blast, good into fire. Even though Kinleo was put to 1, it still deals with it a lot. Deals with stuff like Viscerus, and then base set Sorlet, and even Hydrakes as well. It deals with a lot of the 1-2 drop, 1-2 defense guys, which there's still a lot. So, and then, like I mentioned before, a lot of the times I would side out the Dracoray stuff for 2 Heliolith, a Lyre, a Necklace, and then 3 Argo. So the game plan with the deck, right, is like you go game 1, they see you're on Dracoray, and then in their mind is like, oh, they're playing Dracoray. I could put in Spoiled Fruit, and then if they get Dracoray out, then it's game over, right? And so that's what they think. But you can swap into the Helios package, right? And just kind of ignore that, you know? So bringing it up again, sometimes I would swap out of the Dracorays and even the Champ Exaltus, but Champ Exaltus can also stay in as either extra board presence or the same deal where it's like they swing over a guy, you don't have an artifact, but you have Champ Exaltus, so you go Champ Exaltus, you special cast it out, and then you can ascend over the Exaltus with Heliolith and bounce a guy. So that came up in a few matches, but overall Heliolith is really strong. Like having a 5/5 is really strong right now, and just being able to bounce like anything in the game because it's not even targeting, right? So Chronodile players beware. Yeah, that is the deck profile. Overall, I didn't expect the deck to perform as well as it did. Like I said before, I got Dracoray out like every single round, at least once. Most likely in game 1. Sometimes I kept it in because I didn't show I had Dracoray until like way later. But I'm super excited to see this deck perform well and kind of prove the naysayers that Dracoray still has legs, and maybe not as its own heal variety, but like just having it in the deck worked out a lot and helped me in like most of my games. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.